Any running event lasting over 26 miles qualifies as an ultra-endurance event. This is equivalent to running the trail around our campus over 7 times. For cycling, any distance of 100 miles or more counts as ultra-endurance, meaning you would have to bike 1/5 of the way across North Carolina to be an ultra-endurance athlete. Sounds impossible, but people do it. In fact, people do much, much more. The Tour de France is a 23-day-long competition where athletes bike over 3,500 kilometers, and the Furnace Creek is a bike and running race spanning 508 miles through Death Valley. These are only some of the incredible distances that people cover in these ultra-endurance events. In order to work for this long, the body needs an insane amount of energy, which can be seen in the dietary intake of these athletes. It is recommended that these athletes have about 1.5 to 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, and close to 14 grams of carbohydrates per kilogram of body weight. For the average male marathon runner weighing around 73 grams, 128 grams of protein and around 1,000 grams of carbohydrates need to be taken in a day. In order to understand more about the diet of these athletes, I spoke to professional triple triathlon winner Chet Manley. So, Chet, could you tell me a little bit about what you eat in a day?
Well, most ultra-endurance athletes consume around 1.5 to 2 grams per kilogram within 1 hour of their event, which makes up about 15 to 18% of their total calories. However, not much research has been looked into as to how much protein needs to increase during ultra-endurance events. Ultra-endurance athletes need to consume at least 6 to 14 grams per kilogram of total body weight, which works out to upwards of 70% of calories. Intake should be at least 20 to 24 hours before the event, which allows muscle glycogen storage to completely normalize. In previous studies, ultra-endurance athletes that consumed 1 to 4.5 grams per kilogram 1 to 4 hours before exercise performed the best. And in addition, during exercise, athletes can also consume 150 to 250 milliliter of a sport drink every 15 to 20 minutes. And following exercise, athletes need to consume 0.7 to 2 grams per kilogram of body weight.
So we've spoken a lot about carbohydrates and protein and how they play a role in your diet. But what about fat?
Well, many athletes will avoid high-fat foods during the season to stay as lean as possible, somewhere around 70 to 73 kilograms. Many athletes will also fast before competition, up to 16 hours before, to avoid GI discomfort, but this isn't advised actually. And some high-fat foods, such as nuts and cheeses and even ice cream, can help you to ensure that you're getting the max amount of calories in a day.
Now that we have seen how they eat, let's investigate how they remain hydrated over such long periods of exercise. To do this, I speak to Bob Smith, the world's leading expert in drinking water. So, Bob, can you tell me how you keep athletes hydrated during ultra-endurance training and performance?
I would love to. Ultra-endurance athletes should be consuming an adequate amount of liquids before, during, and after exercise, and proper hydration routines could lead to hypo or hyperhydration, both of which is not necessarily ideal for athletic performance. Fluid loss is a special concern for endurance athletes as it could lead to more fatal consequences. It is noted that a 2% loss in bodily fluid could be detrimental to performance. So athletes should be drinking roughly about 2 to 3 cups 2 hours before exercise, 1 to 2 cups 15 minutes before exercise, 1 to 1.5 cups every 15 minutes during exercise, and finally they should be consuming 2 to 3 cups for every pound lost after activity.